What is up, my fellow spiritual weirdos out there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tiny Michelle, and we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here on this channel, so please keep that in mind. In today's video, we are talking about Mars in Leo. I wanted to dedicate a whole video to this because I think this is such a big deal. I don't know if you can feel the massive amount of energy that is building right now. Like, it really feels like a massive change is about to happen, or some kind of big bang is about to happen here, because I just feel like a ton of fucking energy is building now. And I will probably do another video talking more about this in general, but for now I just wanted to give you guys some inspiration talking about Mars in the sign of Leo, because I feel like it's such a big deal. It's more than just like a typical Mars transit, because it's going to oppose Saturn and square Uranus, okay? And the Saturn-Uranus square that we are dealing with here, I've talked about numerous times and numerous other videos in depth, so definitely go visit my predictions, 2021 predictions and shit playlist to hear more about the Saturn-Uranus square. But basically, the Saturn-Uranus square is like the big underlying transit of 2021, you know? Saturn is about structure and rules, and you know, it's where we are confined or separated. It is where we have to color inside of the lines, you know? It is about holding things together, maturing, restrictions, confinement, all of these types of things, also isolation. And Uranus is about freedom and breaking free and rebellion and going against the structure, going against the rules, going against the narrative, going against, you know, the structure of the society. And these are themes that we are seeing a lot in 2021, and a lot of my predictions from my 2021 predictions videos are coming true, unfortunately. We are seeing this massive build up towards freedom. First off, with Saturn in Aquarius, as I've said before, you know, Saturn is restriction. So even just thinking about like restriction, authority, and the sign of Aquarius is about the people in society, science, experimentation, you know, groups of people, also the outsider, right? Saturn is like a brick wall or a cement wall. And in Capricorn, it's like the authority and the people at the top. And in Aquarius, it's like the people that are outside that brick wall, outcasts, you know, that are outside of the society or outside of the norm, right? And so now we have Mars moving into Leo and amping this square between Saturn and Uranus up like to the fullest, you know what I mean? And Mars in Leo is dramatic and theatrical, and you know, it wants to express itself however that appears to be fit. So I'm going to talk about some themes that we're really going to start seeing up here. You know, first off, just Mars and Leo in general, right, is about self-expression, because Leo is the sign of self-expression. It's ruled by the sun, so it's about, you know, the journey of the personality in this life, and all different sides and angles of the personality, how the self expresses itself, you know, how you express your talents and your gifts, and how you shine, you know, your heart and what brings you joy. All of these things deal with the sign of Leo. It's also about pride, and Leo can be another sign that deals with authority. With Mars and Leo, there is a certain energy now coming in where it is like, I'm just gonna do me, or I'm just gonna do what I want to do. There is a certain energy now coming in where we are more concerned with the self, and where we are taking action, we're taking initiative on things concerning the self, right? On things concerning what is good for us. But the shadow side of this is self-centeredness, right? To an extreme, or wanting to appear a certain way to get attention, right? And so this is where the shadow side of Mars and Leo can really start shining through. And so the reason that I think this is such a big deal is because Mars is opposite Saturn, right? So Mars, our willpower, our force, where we take action, where we want to move forward, right? Opposing Saturn and Aquarius, and Saturn, like I said, is the brick wall. So it's like wanting to initiate change, wanting to move forward, wanting to, you know, take these actions, but somewhere in our life feeling like we are hitting a wall. And this is going to be more apparent. Mars is already in Leo, but it doesn't start opposing Saturn and squaring Uranus until the end of this month in June, and then also in the beginning of July. So that's when you're really going to start noticing these things I'm talking about now with Mars, Saturn, and Uranus. So we're trying to take some initiative in our life. We're trying to express ourselves. And with the Leo Aquarian axis, there's this level of authenticity, this level of being oneself, shining for who you are, rather than following what everybody else does. And so we're going to see massive, massive themes coming up here where it's like us against other people, or other people against us, or us against the trends, or the cool thing to do, or the societal norms, right? Like, where are we maybe going against our pride, going against our integrity to try to fit in? Where are we needing to stand out more? Where are we needing to accept our unique traits, qualities, outlooks, beliefs, etc., opinions? And where are we needing to use that in order to be honest with ourselves, in order to be in our natural authenticity, Uranus and Taurus, right? So this next month is going to be very, very interesting, because whereas Leo is ruled by the sun, that is, you know, that everything depends on, right? That, you know, is in the spotlight, that is the brightest light in the sky, etc. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn is the furthest, you know, planet, furthest traditional planet from the sun before, you know, we knew about the outer planets. But, and it is dark, right? It deals with darkness. It deals with isolation and, you know, the kind of darker, more harder sides of life, the harder lessons that we have to learn through life, right? Saturn is in the sign of the people, or the general society, or like the general group. And that's why I've predicted a lot that we're going to see things like group think, which we are, right? That's why I've predicted a lot that, like, you know, there's going to be a lot of division between what is the trendy narrative to do, what is the trendy thing to do. Are you going to follow everybody else, or are you going to actually stay true to yourself, even if that makes you an outsider, an outcast, or even if other people don't agree with it? And so those are the themes that we're seeing coming up here. Now, another way that we could see this come up is we are definitely possibly going to see some public figures, celebrities, entertainers with that Leo energy, possibly in conflict with the system that's in place, or with the societal narrative that's in place with Saturn and Aquarius, okay? We may also be put in situations where it's like, are we going to be true to our pride and our integrity, even if others don't agree with us, even if that makes us the outsider, even if that, you know, kicks us out of the cool kids table, or our friends disagree, or other people in society disagree? We could also see this playing out with headlines about children. Mars and Leo can bring about certain topics of children. There could definitely be some conflict there. You know, Mars and Saturn's in opposition. It's going to be conflict, some kind of conflict, some kind of accidents, or some kind of force. You know, there's a massive force that is standing off against the planet that doesn't like to move. You know what I mean? And so we kind of have these two really facing off against each other. And the way to work with this energy is to find a way to integrate both. Find a way that you can find an innovative way, an innovative natural way, right? Uranus and Taurus, to integrate the outsider in you, the outcast in you, even if other people don't agree with it, and to still be able to shine with that outcast in you, with those differences, those unique qualities, those unique traits, while also, right, while also finding a way to connect with other people that's not going to completely break your connection with other people, because connecting with other people is important right now. You know, with Saturn and Aquarius, this is bringing a lot of coldness, a lot of distance in forms of humanity, in the form of our human connection, right? And that's why last year when Saturn first moved into Aquarius, we saw lockdowns, literally, like right when Saturn stepped into Aquarius, lockdowns became a thing, social distancing became a thing, and I've talked about that in my other videos as well. So this is a time where it's like, are you going to embrace your heart? Are you going to be bold, be different, and be authentic to yourself? Or are you going to keep putting on a facade? Are you going to keep wearing a mask to protect yourself or to make other people comfortable, right? Like, what are you really doing? Are you protecting yourself from discomfort, or are you protecting other people from discomfort, or both? You know what I mean? Uranus and Taurus makes people uncomfortable. That's just the way it is, right? And so, you know, we may see a lot of things coming up that came up in the beginning of the year in our lives, right? January, February, maybe even into March, because that was the last time Saturn and Uranus squared, and Mars is hitting all of that, right? You know, we're bringing Mars in Leo. It's like, I want to shine. My pride is on the line. My integrity is on the line. I want to do me, right? I'm going to shine for me. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to receive, and I'm going to receive the spotlight for it, right? And so somewhere in our life, these dynamics, these themes are coming up. And so this is what we really, really, really want to be watching out for over this month. And you may already be feeling this Mars and Leo energy. You know, there's a certain like boldness there. There's a certain like larger than life personality. There's a certain desire there. There's like a massive desire for something. It's time to feed that passion inside of you. It's time to feed that flame inside of you. Some other themes that we could see coming up in the headlines, other than like celebrities, children, entertainers, leadership, or people of authority, okay, going against the narrative, going against the grain, right? So we could definitely see here some kind of conflict between authority figures, leadership, or people that are well known in some way, shape, or form. Okay, you know, Saturn in Aquarius is kind of herd mentality in a way. It's like everybody needs to be confined into thinking the same, but also because it's Aquarius, it's going to be like, fuck you, fuck that. I'm going to think for myself, thank you very much. And it's going to create outsiders. It's going to create outcast outsiders, like I've been saying. And that's where that comes from. And like I've been saying a lot on my Instagram too, I always remind people, it's not just Saturn in Aquarius. It's not just typical Saturn in Aquarius like it would have been back in the 60s, for example. No, it is Saturn in fucking Aquarius with Pluto and fucking Capricorn. Okay, and they're not even like 20 degrees away from each other yet. But not only that, Saturn rules Capricorn, and so Pluto plays out through whoever its ruler is, whoever sign that it's in, and it's in Saturn's sign. So it's like a mixture of Saturn and Pluto in Aquarius right now, which is interesting because Pluto does move into Aquarius in a couple years. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. But this is going to be some kind of massive breakthrough or breakdown in some kind of structure, rules, discipline, restrictions. It's going to be a massive rebellion against those things. It's going to bring a lot of energy and force and possible conflict and controversy and drama to certain narratives that, you know, we've been operating under, or that we've been told to operate under, that we've been being forced to operate under. Okay, so I really see possibly some people rising up, or certain groups of people, or a certain person in general rising up, questioning the certain narrative that's going on, or kind of, you know, putting their opinion out there. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. This is going to be some kind of face off against a certain authority, a structure, a narrative, a societal system, or a societal way of doing things that we are definitely going to see here, and that we're going to see in our own lives, where it's going to be like, you know, are we willing to just keep going with what everybody else is doing? Are we willing to just, like, you know, keep doing what everybody else wants us to do? Or are we willing to shine? You know, are we willing to shine? Are we willing to get a little bit controversial and make people a little bit uncomfortable for the sake of some kind of higher truth or authenticity to who we are, right? And so somewhere in your life, this is your time to shine, you know, wherever you have Leo in your chart. And this is a time to maybe start going against what everybody else is doing, you know, if that's what feels true to you. So I just wanted to share that with you guys for Mars moving into the sign of Leo and starting to oppose Saturn and square Uranus by the end of June and into July. Mars is already in Leo, like I said, but it's not going to start coming into that T-square with Saturn and Uranus until the end of June and into July. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, watch out for these energies the next few weeks. Feel free to let me know if you see any of these things happening in your life or in the world in general down below. I would love to hear about it. And I will see you guys in my other videos.